those kinds of people who are real examples of that.
What was your big break as an actor? Do you think it was The Walking Dead? Was the big one?
Yeah, I mean,
you were fucking great in that.
oh, thanks.
You played such a good creep.
Such an asshole, right? Yeah, yeah.
But it was so believable.
Oh,
like all of it was so believable.
Thanks, man.
It was really good.
Thanks. I mean, I think that it was for me it was the perfect role at the perfect time in my life. These things just like they really you know, married each other. You know, I'd been busting my ass for about 10 years before that and just failing miserably. You know, I think a lot of people think that you just like, you know, that I'd been doing it for a long time. But I was still really a pretty big fuck up, Joe. And I was hitting brick wall after brick wall in my life. I was kind of a shitbag. I wasn't a good boyfriend. I was still, you know, and having episodes of violence on the street. I was still getting into street fights, still getting into trouble. I was drinking way too much. On July 3rd, 2009, I was out. I lived in Venice Beach, and every July 4th we had like a really big July 4th party, and I was walking my dogs in Venice Beach, and I stopped because I saw there's like a big house party. It was this thing called First Fridays in Venice where people could drink on the street, and I saw this older couple and they were playing the didgeridoo. You know the didgeridoos?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're playing that's pretty good, bro. And yeah, so they were playing the didgeridoo, and they were probably like a couple in their 60s. And I saw this one guy outside the party who was kind of like a ringleader. He was dancing around, drinking 40s. You know, they're kind of like wannabe tough guys. And the guy went over to the woman who was playing the didgeridoo, and he lifted it up and he like put it on his crotch, so it looked like this old woman was like blowing his crotch. And I remember just like looking at her husband, and he was just like broken. And like I saw this couple, like they had to pack their stuff up, and it was just like, and I don't know, Joe, there was like something about that. Like I was drawn to, like I was supposed to see it that day, and I like saw red. And like right at that point, that same guy, he called my dog over. My dogs are super well trained, and I walked them. They weren't on their leash. And I had this one dog named Boss, this great pit bull, and he's like, oh my gosh, look at that dog. We were probably 50 yards away, and he called the dog over, and Boss went over to him. And the guy's like petting my dog and kind of like roughing up my dog a little bit, just kind of like manhandle him because he's a big pit bull, whatever it was. And I called my dog back, and the guy held on to him and didn't let him come back to me. And again, man, you know, some part of me wanted this to kind of happen, you know, and I went over to him, and I grabbed my dog, and I was like, boss, let's go. And I pulled my dog away, and he's like, hey man, get off my dog. And you know, one thing kind of led to another, but I started to walk away, and him and a couple of his friends started to follow me, and he pushed me in the back, and I turned around and I hit him with a right hand, and he got knocked out standing up, and he fell down, and he cracked his head on the pavement, and his friends all kind of jumped on me. I tried to put my back against a tree and do what I could, but they started to get the better of me. Police came, and you know, long story fucking long, you know, you don't look like he wasn't waking up, and you know, they were taking him away. I was like sitting there handcuffed to the side. Some friends of mine came. I got them to get my dogs out of there, but you know, I'm on the side where there's police everywhere. People are like from that party were pouring beers on my head, and I'm just kind of sitting there. And then they took me down to Pacific Division, and the guy still wasn't waking up. And you know, I'd gotten in trouble in the past in Washington, and you know, the police were just saying like, hey man, like, you know, if he doesn't wake up, that's kind of that. And you know, I was handcuffed to this bench in the Pacific Division, and I remember just really having to take a piss, and you know, nobody was letting me, and they were kind of giving me shit about, you know, what's going to happen if this guy doesn't wake up. And I remember sitting there on that bench that, you know, if this guy doesn't wake up, and I'm going in that direction now, I knew, and it was as clear as any thought I've ever felt, that I was going to have to sort of get in touch. I was going to have to be the devil. I was going to, if I was going that route, all this acting shit, all this friends and fun, it's over. I got to go be the worst and most vicious part of myself.